Hello again. For this video, we're going to be talking about addition between rational numbers. So let's get started. If you guys remember from back in primary, when we add two fractions, we need to have a common denominator. Now in the simplest case, the two fractions that you're going to add already have a common denominator. Okay, here we see a graphic representation of an addition between rational numbers. We have 2/4 plus 1/4, and that is equal to 3/4. In this diagram, it's easy to see how you can perform the addition between two rational numbers that have the same denominator. But what happens if the square is divided into a different number of parts? Let's first look at a few examples of how to add rational numbers when the denominator is the same. In the first example, we have 7/5 plus -4/5. All we do is keep the same denominator and add the numerators. 7 plus -4 is 3, and the denominator remains the same. So we have 3/5. Let's look at the second example. We have 3/2 plus 5/2. Again, the denominator stays the same, and we add the numerators. 3 plus 5 is 8. Remember that we must always simplify whenever we can, and we can simplify 8/2 by 2, and we have a final answer of 4. In the third example, we have -3/10 plus -15/10. The denominator stays the same, and we must add -3 plus -15, which gives us -18. And again, don't forget to simplify. You can simplify by 2, and our final answer is -9/5. In the fourth example, we have -20/50 plus 15/50. The denominator stays the same, and we have to add the numerators. -20 plus 15, which is equal to -5. Here we must simplify again. We can simplify by 5, and our final answer is going to be -1/10. Now what happens if our denominators are not the same? So let's look at what we need to do. This is an example of such a case. We have 5/6 plus 3/8. We need to transform these fractions so that they have the same denominator. But how? If you guys remember from previous classes, we learned how to find the least common multiple. It's exactly what we're going to do in this case. We have to find the least common multiple between the denominators. Let's make a list of the multiples of 6 and 8. Alright, 6 times 1 is 6. 8 times 1 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 2 is 16. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24. 6 times 4 is 24. And we have here our least common multiple. Okay, let's look at how we can transform those fractions now. We have 5/6 plus 3/8. Now our common denominator is going to be 24. In order to get 24 in the denominator for this first fraction, we have to multiply 6 by 4. So we must also multiply the numerator by 4. Now let's look at the second fraction. In order to get 24 in the denominator, we have to multiply 8 by 3. So we have to multiply the numerator also by 3. 5 times 4 is 20. And 6 times 4 is 24. For the other fraction, 3 times 3 is 9. And 8 times 3 is 24. And now our denominators are exactly the same, so we can add just like we were doing before. The denominator stays the same, and the numerator becomes 20 plus 9, which is 29. Remember to always simplify whenever you can. In this case, you can't simplify any further, so our final answer is 29 over 24. Alright, let's take a quick look at subtraction. It works exactly the same as addition. There's only one difference. After you have the common denominator, when you operate the numerators, all you have to do is subtract. So here's a quick example. We have 9/12 minus 1/4. The least common multiple between the denominators 12 and 4 is 12. So now we don't need to do anything to the first fraction because the denominator is already 12. But we do need to change the second one. In order to get 12 in the denominator of the second fraction, we have to multiply it by 3. Okay, you can see this process right here. If we multiply the denominator by 3, we must also multiply the numerator by 3. We get, in the second fraction, 3 over 12. And now we can do the operation. The denominator stays the same, and 9 minus 3 is 6. Remember to simplify always whenever you can. We can simplify 6 over 12 by 6, and our final answer would be 1/2. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys do the exercises, and until next time, take care.